sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning?
I'm Paul Bennett at Shoestring Shipyard here in Millbridge, Maine. We're located along Maine's Bold Coast, not very far from the U.S.-Canadian border. Last week, you witnessed me apply the side panels on the port side. Now the starboard side is pretty much a repeat, except I don't have to make the templates, I already have them. However, I can't put the side panels in place until I install the Samson post. The Samson post is a rugged vertical beam that's in the bow, goes right through the chain locker and comes up on deck. This is the kind of thing you'd tie a bridle onto at a mooring, or if you're going to tow the boat. One of the strongest points on the boat. It's easier to install it now because it's stepped right on the keelson. And then there's a spacer block between the stem and the Samson post. Helps tie it together. And then to give it more bracing, there's a knee that goes from the Samson post tied to the keelson, just aft of the spacer. I call the spacer a knee, but it's really just a spacer block to help tie everything together. The actual knee that goes aft of the Samson post, you'll probably note in the video that the grain does not go diagonally across the knee like it should. That's because I used what I had, and it was the best piece of wood. I had to orient my template in such a way that I got the best piece of wood with fewer checks. That's what I had. I didn't have to go out and buy it, and it was a piece of scrap that somebody threw out. With the exception of the plywood, the entire boat is being built with pretty much repurposed, recycled lumber that nobody else wants. Now that you've seen the Samson post go in with the additional bracing around it, I'm now free to go ahead and fit, cut out, and install the starboard side hull panels. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm getting ready to install the Samson post. It's going to be a lot easier if I install the Samson post now before I put the hull panels onto the starboard side. That's the next job. Here's the problem. The Samson post, and for those who don't know what a Samson post is, the Samson post is stepped right on the keelson and has all kinds of other reinforcement. It's probably one of the strongest points on the vessel if you had to tow it, or if you had to put a bridle on it where it's going to be anchored or moored during a hurricane or heavy storm. It's going to mount up like this. I have my strong back in the way, but because all of these stringers are attached to the stem along with the port side panel is fully installed, it's all epoxied and screwed and everything. This is now going to be pretty rigid, and so now this part of the strong back really isn't required. So I'm going to try to disassemble it or cut it away so that the Samson post can fit in here and it can go straight down. Right, that's in the way right now. And I also have to remove this bracing anyway, because once the Samson post is in place, I have to install a forward timber or knee. There's a knee that goes between the stem and the keelson, and also up against the Samson post gives additional rigidity up here at the bow. So let's get cracking. I'm going to put some temporary cleats in place for something to clamp onto. When I put the Samson post in, I will be able to take a couple of clamps and hold the Samson post in place. And I'm going to put one on this side as well, right here, so that I can just go clamp across it. Well, let's see if we can meet with some success here. A little bit earlier when I cut this Samson post to length, I cut the proper angle, meet the same angle here as the Keilson. I also coated the end of the Samson post with epoxy resin, very thin epoxy resin, and I let it soak into the end grain. So once it's clamped, I can always jostle it around later. These are the screws. It's a type of leg screw, new style. It's a lot thinner than a traditional leg screw. It's supposed to be the equivalent of a 3/8, about half that in diameter. They're expensive too. Now that I have the screws in place, they act as locating pins. I can brush all these chips off. I can take these out. I'm going to countersink the holes here so the heads fit down below that surface. Then I can put some marine adhesive in between the Samson post and the Keilson, and I can run them back in again. I can then take my level, make sure everything's plumb, and brace it up as needed. Now I can put some marine sealant here. Spread it with a popsicle stick. Make sure I get good coverage. Okay, now I can put it back in place. It's not 100% in place, but the screws will act as locating pins, and that'll help guide it to where it needs to be, and then cinch her up. Okay, I found that hole. The other one should line up pretty well. And now I can take off these temporary cleats before that adhesive sets up. Yeah, I put my level on here. Not looking too bad. It looks pretty good in this direction. In this direction, going this way, side to side, she was a little bit going over towards port, and I just put a clamp on down here. I didn't have to pull it by very much. I just put a little bit of tension on that level, and now I've got it pretty much dialed in. It'll be a lot easier to install that knee now. Make up a template, cut it out, and install it while I have this open window. It's easier than standing on my head when the boat's right side up and this is all planked over.
sailor,